of selfish. I think I spoiled him.
Don't worry about that. Harvey, I had a dog for 19 years.
Wow.
And he died in 2016. That's when he finally died. I had an American Eskimo dog.
Oh, wow.
And I gave him an organic diet from day one. I always said I wanted to give him good food and not junk, and he ended up living for 19 years.
Well, you know, Burt Ward that played Robin on Batman, he swears by organic food. Matter of fact, he has a dog food line. I didn't find out about this 2 years ago. Recently, actually about 3 years ago, because I give my dog food. You know, he's healthy and everything. He's a Shepherd Collie mix. He's 8 years old, and he's a service dog, and he does everything for me. That's why I always gush over him, you know, from time to time, you know, because he saved my life. I saved him. But the organic food, that's mean you're giving them raw meats and all that stuff. The one who lived 19, that's a long time.
It was a very long time. It hurt like hell when I lost them too.
It's like a child. They become children, because, you know, cats, you love them, but they got their own distinct personality. They can love you or leave you. You know, dog, they always give you the eyes. That's why I can't watch those commercials with the dogs. I just can't. I can't do it. It messes me up. I'm sorry, I mean going by my dog.
No, that's fine. Everybody, we're gonna be chopping it up tonight with Harvey, SuperBoy. Many of you are familiar with him. He's been out here on YouTube forever. Been here for a very long time.
A long time. This month makes 10 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, they try to put me away.
I didn't come on YouTube, Harvey, until about 2011.
Okay.
That's when I came on, and I was looking around, and I was just, back then, I was just enjoying listening to everybody's video. I didn't have my own channel up until, you know, a couple of years later.
Yeah, I remember when I first started taking notice of you, they used to come at you hard. Well, they still do, but they used to come at you hard. You get videos up and your channel I'm like, what's going on? And I didn't think they liked the fact that you wasn't playing to that male-female jazz, you know, and you wasn't out here acting like a fool. And I think that happened to me, you, Kim, and the rest of our fellow YouTubers, that we wasn't playing to these stereotypes and pushing misinformation.
Do you know, when all that stuff happened with R. Kelly and he got arrested and everything, I kid you not, the trolls came to my channel looking for me to drag R. Kelly. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You know, and I didn't. Man, they were so disappointed.
Because just like the Bill Cosby thing, I've said before, I said more black women defended Bill Cosby than black men, because sisters see what's going on. Because look, I'm not condoning any man taking advantage of any female, young or old, straight or gay. I don't condone that. But as you can see, it's a setup. R. Kelly shouldn't be in jail. He should be walking around like Weinstein is. The guy got beat up the other day. And
I heard.
And the reason why they put R. Kelly in jail is because of a hit piece, a televised hit piece. And now you see the people that participated with it been going back and forth with the creators of it in Lifetime, but to me, they don't want to talk about that anymore because they got what they needed.
Yeah, but Harvey, it was a very white supremacist thing to do, because think about it. Did you see them do that to Harvey Weinstein?
Oh, no.
Moonves? Where were the victims of them on TV? You know, you don't see that. They're very selective about who they go after and what they do.
It's about perceived power. You have to understand, R. Kelly's what, 54, 55, around that age? He's still a baby boomer, you know, technically. But you got Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, the Jonas Brothers competing against a middle-aged or a senior citizen. Technically, he's a senior citizen now, would be considered a senior citizen who can still outperform them, out-sing them, because they're approximating our culture, our sound. And they didn't like the idea, like, R. Kelly's still charged. We got to get rid of him. Just like Bill Cosby. If Bill Cosby was this monster, they could destroy him back when the Cosby Show premiered. Because they had him, they could have destroyed him in 84. They could destroy him back when Autumn Jackson came out and said that was her father. They could destroy his son and his dad. They wait till the man started having health issues and got me said, you know what? We got to take him down. We got to get him off that property. Because a lot of people don't realize the reason why they won't go after Cosby because he owned property up in the area which he lived, and they want to get him off that, and that's why they went after his wife. That's why they kept saying Camille. They never done this to these white women when their husbands get caught up and stuff. They never go after their wives. It was strategic.
Yeah. And I knew Bill Cosby way back. I grew up in Philadelphia, and he was actually big in Philly, back in the day before he really blew up nationally. I knew Bill Cosby when he was big locally, and I just remember, a lot of people, and you may know this, Harvey, a lot of people may not know the electric company that was Bill Cosby and Morgan Freeman. Do you know they were the creators?
I remember watching that Easy Ride and all of them. Rita Moreno was on there. Matter of fact, Cosby even take a salary. He did the show for free.
Yes, and Morgan Freeman, they were both producers of the electric company.
Yes. I remember when I was, because by the time I started watching, they was showing those in reruns because I was, I'm 70s baby, 76. And by the time I started, remembering programs and I'm watching those reruns because, Sesame Street and all that stuff started with like 68, 69 around that time. So we're watching a rerun. So I'm watching Morgan Freeman. I'm watching Bill Cosby, Rita Moreno. Then I see him on TV and say, hey, that's the guy from Electric Company. Because I remember the old Cosby show, the Bill Cosby show, the Hickey Brewer, they do that with Quincy Jones. Now that's going way back. And then you remember him doing the comedy specials when the comedy records was big back in the day. You would say, they said Bill Cosby special was coming at NBC, and it was clean. He would just sit there in the chair and talk about the kids, and then say, why don't we do this in a TV show? And I remember them talking about it the winter of 1983. And then the fall of 84, that's when Cosby premiered. That was everybody stopped what they doing in the neighborhood. Matter of fact, my mom's sister had just gave birth to her first child, right? Well, her only child, right? And she had their child with her and sat in our living room. We all watched the Cosby Show. The whole block, everybody went into the house at 7 o'clock. We was watching the Cosby Show. From that must-see TV. He saved NBC.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Harvey. They were sinking. And I remember back then, NBC was probably in last place with their ratings among the big three.
Yeah, because ABC.
They were last.
Because ABC had Dynasty, the Colbys, CBS had Dallas, Falcon Crest, Simon & Simon. NBC only had Hill Street Blues, Hunter, that Knight Rider, and Different Strokes. But Cosby, the one that made NBC must-see TV. General Electric, people don't remember, General Electric used to own NBC. Comcast currently own them now. When Cosby had that kind of power, he said, I want to do a spinoff with Denise. Now, he gave Lisa Bonet a chance with most actors would kill. You get to headline your own show, you know? And she
But you know what the funny part about that, Harvey? The other actors on the show were actually better than her.
Exactly what it was.
Did you notice that too?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you exactly what it was. Even as a little kid, I picked up on it. Lisa Bonet was a light-skinned young sister. It just call it what it is. Because Cosby, if you watch the Cosby Show, he had a lot of light-skinned actresses on there. And I'm not saying they say he did that purposely, maybe on a subconscious level, or maybe the casting director. And I never thought Lisa Bonet was attractive. I never was into her like that. I never saw it. To this day, I don't see it. But the thing is that Lisa Bonet used to go do interviews. She used to be high. She used to be drunk. She used to be arrogant. And a lot of people forget that. And then, when Cosby went and tried to buy the network in the 80s, General Electric said, no, now this guy saved your network. This guy was worth more than the stockholders on the board of General Electric. They knew that Cosby, if he got control of that, because Cosby even said it, he said that means we would not see these negative images. As a matter of fact, I don't know how true it is. I remember back in the 80s, Cosby was the reason why they took the Little Rascals off the air, or the original Little Rascals shorts. You know, because I mean, I saw them. If you look at them today, you cringe at it. They was over racist. He said he didn't want black kids seeing it because he realized that a lot of our children, unfortunately, was not in households when mom and dad was explaining to them the realities of racism.
Yeah.
Because today, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's okay. And Demetrius Flag, thank you so much for the super chat. I just made it. Lisa, those stories were too much, especially the Breonna Taylor thing. I'm furious. Yeah, I understand. But you know what, Harvey? I'm sure you seem to be very knowledgeable about things that happened back then. Sesame Street, that actually came out of the minds of Black psychiatrists. They originally came out, with Sesame Street for Black children in low income areas in America. They were trying to inspire them to learn. Do you know that? But
yeah, because they were doing the dog test, because a part of that dog test as well, the Black dog test. And they realized that children respond to make believe characters. That's why I remember as a kid watching Sesame Street when they did the skits with the little black boy, black girl talking to the puppets, and the kids respond because children respond to make believe because their imagination becomes a lot greater. They're more vivid. That's why I think these children, the last 30 years, have lost out on getting up in the morning like we did when we was kids, watching Saturday morning cartoons. Because I remember that was like our thing. Get a bowl of cereal and you watch from 6 a.m. to the afternoon. Then it went over to a bandstand or Soul Train, whatever your preferences were. We was our imagination. This is why we see things a little bit different than our young brothers and sisters. This is why they grow up so fast. Then they get a certain age. They regress. They want to relive a childhood. They get frustrated because they never had those experiences.
Yeah, that is so true. But I didn't learn until I was probably in my early 20s that the whole concept of Sesame Street came from Black psychiatrists. And the reason why it did was, when they had the Psychiatry Association, Black psychiatrists were not allowed to be in it. It was segregated back then.
Hey, so let me stop you right here for a second. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I guess we got the same troll that's been following me from the code channel over here. It's BNBB, what's that? BNBHBNJ Nick NJ. Was it NJ? I don't have my glasses on. NJGSSAYI.
Okay.
You see it?
Let me see. Let me go through real fast. Girl. All right. Those of you that got wrenches, if you see anybody trolling on here, please get them off. I got a whole army of you with wrenches, so don't let these people slip through.
Because, and that's sad. Now I don't mean to interrupt, but go back and finish your train of thought. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's okay. No, what I was saying was they came up with that whole concept. And they were really trying to sell it to Black children only. But when it was tested, you know how they review it. White people also thought it would be good for their children too. So it ended up getting a much broader audience because of that.
And plus, that keeps monitoring what they see, what we learn. Because if you notice, the children. And I don't want to make it like Gen X is, more well-rounded, because we got our issues too. But if you notice, we were more engaged in school. We didn't use the King's English, but it's not like today. These poor kids, like I said, they're not being challenged. Their imagination is not there. They're frustrated. They're growing up a lot faster than they should have, because you got a long time to be an adult. You only got maybe 12 or 13 years to be a child, and they need to experience the growing pains. They need to experience those emotions. That's why I get nostalgic and about the Electric Company, and Sesame Street and Contact and all those other shows that we watch, because we had a chance to be children.
Yeah, very true. Yep, that's very true. All right, Harvey, we're going to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Rittenhouse. There's a lot more details coming out about that, but you saw how President Trump went to Kenosha and nobody really wanted him there.
No.
And he is supporting Kyle Rittenhouse. And he's very open about it too.
Oh, yeah. He knew exactly what he was doing. And yesterday I was talking to my aunt. I told her, I said, that was nothing but a white supremacist cluster, excuse my language, clusterfuck. Just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Because it was nothing but, they had the two black people that's from the church. And that right there burns me up. I understand we got a black church, but they don't speak for the entirety of the black community.
Right.
Number one. Number two, we got to understand politics is business. Okay. And yes, they showed us what they meant. Trump meant business. When he kept talking about the police department, what they're going to do, and he had the attorney general sit that next to him, that should have, we had cold chills going through your body.
Yeah.
Because he's the top cop. He sets the tone. A lot of people don't understand that whether Trump win a re-election or not, for the next 50 years, what they put in place today is going to touch us, our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. And a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people are too emotional. And back to that white murderer, let's call him, he's not a kid, he's a murderer.
Yes. Now, Harvey, let's go back to the beginning. How did he get into the state?
His mama drove him.
His mother drove him, y'all. His mother drove him to that protest. And, and you don't hear nothing about the media talking about his mother. His mother really should be arrested.
He should be arrested and brought on child abuse.
Yeah.
I've seen black women, Mexican women, children be taken away for little or nothing, put into the system.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he wasn't going there to, okay, look, I understand you don't like seeing buildings burned down. I get it. You might be one of those people like architecture or something. I don't know. But the thing is, he left Antioch, Illinois. That's a 30-something minute drive into Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
He went in there with a weapon. He was trained. I saw he had that weapon positioned in his hand. That was military. The military trained him on law enforcement. When he fell down, recovered, that's how we recover in the military. And he started firing the first thing he saw. And he shot the dude in the head, shot the other dude in the back, and blew the other dude arm apart. You tell the power of that weapon. That's why I'm telling you, when they be talking about Chicago got a gun violence, no, you got people come out of Indiana. You got people come out of Wisconsin. You got people visiting, coming to our community, shoot up the neighborhood. We already jumped. It got to be gangs. It got to be gangs.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know better.
Yeah, me too. And you know what? I grew up in the city of Philly, Harvey. I grew up in the city just like you did. And I know what gangs do. And I know what they do. And they do not just on the weekend wake up and start shooting up the place. Okay, they don't, you can just see the pattern of how the shootings happen. Big shootings only on the weekends. What happens Monday through Friday? What, they don't fight then?
Yeah, exactly. And see, they do more carnage on the week. Matter of fact, I was just watching news. This bar in New York called, I forget the name. I don't want to give the wrong name of it, but it was just on the news. They was taking bets to see how many people get shot in Chicago and New York. I kid you not. People take people. Wow. Yeah, it's a segment of this country is rotten to the core.
Mm-hmm.
It's rotten to the core. Like they keep talking about these kids are gonna be better than us. They said that about Gen X, and look, and we turned out to be the same petty people. But this generation has the internet. They can communicate, pass misinformation and stuff. These kids are dangerous. That 17-year-old boy showed you how murderous he can be at 17. Just imagine we're gonna be in 20 years.
Mm-hmm. And I want y'all to think about this. Who taught him all that? Who taught him all of that hate? Who taught him?
His mama.
His mama. That's right.
The child. That's why I keep telling people, the first teacher of the child, she carried for 9 months. She gave him the nutrients and stuff. When he cried, he didn't go to daddy or anybody. He laid in mama's bosom. Yes. This is why they got white men got to fashion their mama breasts and everything. But the thing is, his mama drove him. She took. I bet you go there, you shoot one of them niggers, you see one of them niggers come up to you. I bet you she said it.
Mm-hmm.
She was cocky.
Mm-hmm.
The police gave him. They thanked him. They gave him water. They let him walk past him. But
with his hands up. With his hands up. Now, you know, Harvey, if that was a black man walking down the street with that same weapon around all them cop cars, they would have jumped out with their guns drawn.
No, they would have shot brother down.
Yeah, they would have mowed him down. But I'm just saying, they didn't even get out of their car.
They let him walk.
Shit.
They let him walk. And I'm sitting there watching the video. I'm like, ain't that a blip? We didn't see black men go into stores. Obviously, they got their weapons shown. They obviously got a carry conceal, card. They get shot down by John Q. Public or police officers and say, "Oh, we thought he was a criminal."
Yeah,
Tamir Rice got shot down at 12 years old for playing with a cap gun, and most American boys do.
Yep. Now, just look at the whole situation now. An unarmed black man is more scary to a cop than a white dude that just killed people and walking down the street with the same weapon that he killed them with his arms up. They're not scared of that. But an unarmed black man, they are petrified of.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been taught. And the thing is, the people like your Donald Trumps, the heads of these corporations keep telling them black people are your enemy. Black folks don't get up thinking about doing nothing to white people unless it's somebody with mental issues or a hardened criminal. But even the hardened criminal, no, I ain't going to that neighborhood, and white folks don't play. You see what I'm saying?
But Harvey, you see the Karen videos. It's very easy to see who is the perpetrator and starting everything.
And they had
100% of the time, you'll see the black person minding their business, walking through a parking lot, walking through the store, and here comes Karen. And it happens the same way every single time. Or they're out trying to deliver mail. Here comes Karen outside. We're not the ones starting this. Just watch those videos. It's very obvious who's starting all of this stuff.
And then the video came out him fighting a woman. You ain't heard nothing from the National Organization Women or Me Too. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't heard no Alyssa Milanos. You ain't heard no Rose McGowan's. You ain't heard none of these women that was telling black women, your black men are beating on you. You got to stop them. He beat on women. And the thing is, they was at first they said it was him. He had them bright was a American flag colored Crocs on where you could spot him. He's hitting on a female, and the media played that. They ain't mentioned that, but let something like that happen to me. Well, when he was 17 years old, he had a girl in high school. He showed anger management issues. Even some of his neighbors have said that he was right wing. They got video of him at a Trump rally in January. I
saw that picture.
At a young age to get into politics like that. They conditioned them. That he's dangerous. He's a murderer.
Yeah. And I said, he is an incel. But I saw that video for the first time about 3 days ago of him beating up, and something he just jumped and started wailing and punching all over that white girl.
Yeah. But they ain't put no cameras in her face asking any questions.
No.
They're not going to use a white woman or a white female to destroy another white person or a white male in particular. Only time they do it when they get a certain age and they say, oh, by the by, he did this to me. You wait till you're 40-some years old to say something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. See, there go your future wife beater right there.
Yeah.
It's your future wife beater.
A mass shooter, but he was trained. He was trained by somebody in law enforcement military because I recognized how he had his hands and everything. I said he fell down, recovered that. I mean, he's a heavy set dude. So that's how fast he rolled over. I said that's military training. On the week, see, we too busy on the weekend partying. They're on the weekend in the Force Reserves training. We don't. When they talk about, I hear people say we want gun control. I understand gun control, but you need to protect yourself. They are not teaching their kids how to shoot you dead. It's a sister that got shot back here last year on the expressway. She was working for the post office and she was going to work, and they random shot in an area that you wouldn't think anybody shooting. I said, that's like some white dude was out there, saw a random black person riding down the road and killed her. To this day, they ain't found out who did it.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to put it on black foot. Look, I know we got some screwed up people in our community. I know we got some violent people in our community. But what's been going on since Trump got in office, Trump gave him weekend and nod. You go out there, you do it. I got your back. Yes, they want to meet with the family. He didn't even know how to put on a show and say, I don't want to meet with them, but I'm going to do it as a photo op. I would take the white supremacist photo op and let white folk know.
That's right.
About me. I got you.
And I'm glad you said that, because y'all, Trump went all the way to Kenosha. He went all the way to Kenosha and never met with the family. He never met with the family. You know, I mean, it is so telling about his racism. It's not even funny.
And then he didn't want to. Then they said, why he didn't call? He said, well, I didn't want to talk because they had a lawyer. What do you got to hide?
Well, you're the president. What difference does that make? You're the president.
You're the president. You want to say my condolences and prayers to you. We get to the bottom of this and let him keep moving. He don't even know how to do that. He's so racist. I've been yelling about Trump racism way before he started doing that so-called birther thing, or because or before he got in office. I remember my mom got mad at me years ago. You remember the show Lifestyles of Rich and Famous?
Yeah. Okay,
they did a profile of him back when he was married to Ivana, you know, and everything. And they were showing their house. And that's when he's like 20-some, 30-some years old. And he gave off this vibe as a kid. A lot of people don't realize children can pick up vibes. You know, a lot of times we get a certain age, we forget about it. But have you ever came across an adult or somebody just didn't feel right to you? You just pick up their demeanor. Well, we are conditioned at a certain age to push that to the side. I'm looking at him and I'm like, something about this man don't look right. And my parents looking like I'm crazy because I could have been no more about 6 or 7 years old. So as time went on, and then when that Central Park thing came up, and he showed his racism, and for some reason everybody forgot 1989 he took ads out.
Yes, he did. Full-page ads, Harvey. Full-page ads. You know, I live in New Jersey, so I see a lot of the New York news, and I remember that ad when he put it out. It was a full-page ad in the New York Times.
Yeah, I remember in Chicago, we was all talking about that. Matter of fact, that summer, a lot of innocent black boys get harassed. A lot of them cops were mad about that woman being raped because it was big news in '89. I remember the summer of the spring of '89. No, it was the spring. So guess around that time, and it was they talked about it because remember a couple years prior we had Bernard Getz. I remember that. I remember when Sharpton was marching through that neighborhood with the kids, 2 black boys got chased. So people talk about Chicago. New York was the one back in the day was buck wild, you know.
And still is, Harvey. Still is.
But see, they got good PR because you notice all that money they put into Times Square. See, people think that because I live in Illinois, that I'll be paying. I'll be watching world and local news. Trust me, I'll be paying attention to all that stuff. Rudy Giuliani took the 911 call center, put in the Twin Towers that just got hit a few years prior. How stupid can you get? But he's America's mayor. Okay, keep thinking that.
Rudy Giuliani, you know he comes from a crime family.
Oh yeah.
Italian crime family.
He was attorney. People forget he was attorney general in New York. Became from his own kids say he's rotten.
Yeah, he comes from a crime family, y'all. His family. And his uncle and parents, they were in the mob. His father, they were all in the Italian mafia.
And he turned on the mob. And they were shocked. So like what the Kennedys did, the daddy and them got where he was at because he worked with the mob and some of the Nazis, and they turned on. That's why when JFK got in office, he turned on Frank Sinatra, was all mobbed up. That's why they were mad. See, a lot of people they figure, well, this is in the past. Past repeats itself over and over.
Yeah, it sure does. Now, Harvey, did you ever watch Mob Wives?
Mm-hmm.
Dweeta,
the
one that was Drita, her husband is Rudy Giuliani's cousin.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yep.
People keep thinking because I have some of my friends from high school. When I was in high school, I used to warn people of all this stuff. They said, "Dude, you paranoid." I'm like, "Aren't y'all watching the news? Aren't y'all paying attention to what's going on in the community?" I said, "These people who are in politics, they work with the criminals.
Uh-huh.
They don't mind the mob's still around today in some shape, form, or fashion. A lot of them legitimize themselves. They in big business. You know what I mean? They sit on your boards and stuff. So
a lot of these, he's right. Look, Trump comes from a crime family. His great grandfather used to pimp out women.
His father,
and his grandfather ran a bunch of prostitutes. He ran a house of prostitution. I mean, all of them come out of crime.
Yeah.
And
here in Chicago, the Daley family, old man Daley, he was a part of a gang. Man, he was part of the gang back in the 1919 riots in Chicago when he was a kid. He took part in that, and over the years, people try to downplay it. But you see what his son did. His son got started. I ain't gonna be as openly or racist as my dad. I'm gonna go get a black woman, put a black woman next to me, and go get a few people, and slowly but surely play the community. This is why the Black Chicago is the way it is now, because for 30 years we sat back and let people give us the reach around, and we ain't learned from other cities like New York or California and stuff. You know, this is why I keep trying to tell people: know your history, because we keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. But that's why I laugh at Trump when he sit around talking about law and order. There wasn't even law and order in his own family. Okay?
Look, everybody surrounding Trump. Everybody surrounding Trump has gotten charged.
I love it. Did you hear what Ice Cube said? Ice Cube said Trump know more people behind bars than he do. I'm cracking up laughing. I said that is so true.
Exactly. And I'm looking at one of the sons, Christopher Clipper. He said Irish gangsters in Chi-Town are without a doubt. The police department full of, I'm telling you, it's just a lot of stuff that people are oblivious to. See, last night, WGN used to be owned by the Tribune. They're bought by Nexstar now. They put up News Nation on WGN America, if you know that. And they said they was going to do a non-biased news. I won't say how long that lasts, but if you realize when Ronald Reagan got rid of the fairness doctrine back in the 80s, we got Rush Limbaugh. You got your Bill O'Reilly. You got your Sean Hannitys. This was the rise of the Christian right, because what they did in the 80s, and people like Mr. Farrakhan, and I know people don't respect Reverend Jackson, but the media destroyed his image, a lot of it. They warned us of this stuff back in the 80s, and now chicks are coming home to roost because white folk are starting to catch it, but they don't realize it.
Yeah,
they don't realize that there was 3 white folks that got shot last week. It wasn't black men; it was 3 white men that got shot. See, they're turning on each other, and that's why they're trying to downplay it, because you don't see no cameras going to that boy house or his school. They're not interviewing no family relatives. They're not interviewing teachers.
Yeah, where's his father? Where's his father? You know, because every time black children do something that age, they're always screaming about the father. How come they're not asking about Kyle Rittenhouse father?
They're not going to do that because it's more single parent white women than are black women. A lot of black couples are common law or they marry. And the thing is, we've been pushing this negative image. Like, I was a kid watching those music award shows, and the first thing said, I want to thank God and my mama. What about your dad? Well, my dad wasn't there. He didn't do nothing for me. He gave you life. You don't know what's going between your mom and dad. Like, I love my parents. I miss my mother. But it was times my mother disrespected my father. My father disrespected my mother. And when I was a kid, I didn't take sides. I said, both of y'all in the wrong. So when you're growing up and you start going out there saying my dad ain't this and stuff, wait a minute. That's between you and your parents. That's not between you. Stay out of it. Because we gave the impression that black men don't care about their kids. And what they did, they started changing the curriculum in schools, how parents discipline and everything. So now, 30 years later, we're paying for it now, but now it's trickling to other communities. A lot of people don't understand that. Like, when those riots is going on around the country, and the recent riot here in Chicago, it wasn't blacks just doing that. You had Hispanics, you had Asians, but the media has a vested interest in showing us in the negative.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. So what do you think about all this stuff going on with coronavirus?
I'm gonna tell you something. I've had it touch me in ways I didn't want. I've lost just recently. I lost another family member to this, so I don't lost 3 family members, and I've lost 3 friends to this. It's real, folks. Now, I was watching the news. It's something that I've been saying. That I said, don't be surprised. They said he got a cure before the election. That to me is scary because now you got people who don't trust these vaccinations. Excuse me. Now they're going to be skeptical. Is it really work or not? And then they also gave a report saying it wasn't a lot of blacks participating in these trials. So now if it has some unaffected side effects, now you're gonna get more brothers and sisters in our community who are not gonna be trusted when it's actual time for the treatment to come out.
Now, did you read what they were saying about the vaccine? They're saying this first vaccine is probably not going to be that effective. Yeah. They're saying that it will be probably 30 to 50% effective.
And they said you might have to get another shot again.
Have to get a second one.
And my thing is, I'd rather them take. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. This thing scares the hell out of me because you can take all the precautions in the world and still it's not enough. Thank God I haven't got it. Thank God you haven't got it as far as we know. Because a lot of people walking around asymptomatic and don't show the signs. But I do think that last year, when they started talking about this virus in China and people was getting sick, I think some of us had it and we survived it. But what happened was March, that's when the shit hit the fan. And when they said that black people was hitting us disproportionately, that's when whites started saying, we ain't wearing no effing mask. That's when they stopped coming out.
But the thing is, Harvey, I'm always skeptical about that because I've been looking for the raw numbers on that and they sure won't show it.
Oh, they won't. They won't, plus or minus.
And when I look at now I don't know if you ever did this. When I look at the obituaries, that the biggest ones are on Sunday in the newspaper locally. It's a bunch of elderly white people dying from it because it has it right in the obituary. They'll give their name and, of course, their date of birth, date of death, and they'll have right in there COVID-19. And out of, like a whole page, it may be 2 black people that died of it, but everybody else on the page are a bunch of elderly white people.
Well, white folk, they always want to let people know who died. They always had this thing where, they buried them, they dead quickly, but then they want to put them in newspapers and stuff. My grandpa died of this, blah, blah, blah. I do believe that there's a lot of black people who died from this, but it's not being discussed because in our community, we don't want to think about stuff like that, unfortunately. You know what I mean? We want to think of good thoughts, warm thoughts, and that kind of thing. But I think that we're putting ourselves at risk because the jobs that we have, we communicate with a lot of different people.
Harvey, I think that's why we got it so much. Because
that's why we got it, because of the job.
Look at the higher number of black people that work in the essential jobs. Black people work the subway, they work in the supermarket, they work in Walmart, they work in fast food. We are the main ones encountering the public.
That's why we have it, because I'm going to be honest with you. When you look at the diseases that people get on average, we don't get them. I mean, if we can talk about cancer, that's a tough, different conversation. But when it comes down to like pandemics, if you know, it's in Africa for a long time, it didn't register in Africa. And that's why a lot of us thought that maybe this was a white person disease. Because remember, the numbers didn't show, even in the so-called undeveloped countries, their numbers are low. Think about that. We're supposed to be the most advanced country on the planet, and we got more cases in the United States than they got in countries that don't have proper sanitation. Think about that for a second.
But you know why, Harvey? I can tell you why. I literally can tell you why. In those other countries that are smaller and their populations are smaller, those people cooperated. When they told them to keep their asses home, that population kept their asses home. Yep. When they told them to put a mask on or you would be punished, if you saw them, like I was watching India, and these 2 men were walking down the street with no mask on. The police came up on them and caned those 2 men out in the streets
because
they arrested them.
Because they want to survive. They want to continue. They want to continue their bloodlines. They want to thrive. They want to be the kings and rulers of the world. We
And
don't have that kind of mindset in America. We're arrogant. We're selfish.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When you look at America, what do you see? It's my right. I don't have to wear a mask. I know what my rights are. And then they're piling. Now, I can tell you here in my state, Harvey, they're piling up at the beach every weekend. Nobody's social distancing. Nobody's wearing masks. They're at the beaches every single weekend. You got people still walking out here arguing with folks at the stores. I don't want to put my mask on. What do you mean you're not going to serve me if I don't put a mask on? That's the kind of stuff that's going on in America.
And the thing is, okay, if you don't want to wear your mask, you know what you got to do? You go in public, if somebody in law enforcement come and tell you, you need to get your ID information and stuff. Yeah, don't wear a mask. But guess what? When you start coughing up a lung, you don't get to go pile up in the hospital. Because a lot of these people, they go out, they want to party, they get sick. The first thing they run to the hospital. Can you help me? You taking precious space for people that actually need it. I'm like this. You want to use it as a freedom of expression? Okay, you go on and do that.
But Harvey, this is how I feel. Okay, even if you got freedom that you're claiming you have, you don't have the freedom to spread your shit to everybody.
You don't. And I'm gonna tell you, when you got a president that's pushing conspiracy theories, and people don't realize this president don't care about people.
He sure don't.
What it is population control, number one. Number two, he figured if people died, there'd be less voters. But don't he realize some of the people are dying voting to the right? You know what I mean? See, he's so arrogant. And then I'm gonna be honest with you. If you notice when the Black Lives Matter thing happened, they was talking about, oh, she got a protest together. You ain't heard not one of those protesters coming down with it. But these people that went to these biker rallies, go to these beaches and stuff. You found today they talking about at that biker rally they had a few weeks ago. They said they got people from there already tested positive with the COVID. They're in the hospital already. You was common sense. It's a pandemic going around. This is worldwide. I can understand if it was going on some faraway place that you're not going to visit. You're like, okay, but this is worldwide because everybody come in and out of this country, and we go to places that we shouldn't be in. We eat stuff that we shouldn't be eating, and it's spread.
Yes.
And I think Black America, considering that we got so many targets on our back, this is one time I think, brothers and sisters, if you don't believe in the shot, cool, wear a mask. Take care of yourself.
Let me tell you, I was looking at the Philippines, and that leader, he told them if they step out in public with no mask on, the police are allowed to shoot them. I see, that's what other countries are. They're punishing their populations for not cooperating. Here in America, what are the consequences if they don't put a mask on? This is why it's always going to be bad in America. It's always going to be bad.
It's like with the gun violence. When they shot that little grammar school years ago, they had a chance to get these assault rifles out. Most Americans voted against their own interests. Like, we don't want it. We want to be able to protect ourselves. We want to write to militia. The militia is like 200-something years ago. You know what I mean? I mean, why are you holding on? I mean, there's a lot of dumb people in this country, and a lot of them are dangerous. And my thing is, like, look, I tell everybody like this. Everybody like, I got to go outside. I got to go outside. No, you don't. You ain't going to die. I look at it like I was in basic training. When I was in basic training, we was limited to where we went. You know what I mean? So I just look at it. I just look at it that it's a long-ass winter. It's been real cold outside. I ain't missing anything. I mean, I'd rather sit back and wait till they take care of what they need to take care of and get this under control. But the other day, I heard something that I warned people about, this culling thing, this herd mentality type thing. This guy gets to Trump, that'll do a herd mentality. A lot of people don't understand that. That's culling. That means they want more people to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, I know why Black people are paranoid, because the health profession ain't been really friendly with us. They've done a lot of things to our people, but right now, I don't think there's a time we should be playing around, because they purging. It's a purge, basically. I mean, they want to go after strong young black men and women, and they want us to be vulnerable because they want to get back into the cities. They want us out of schools. They don't want us in these jobs. I mean, they don't want to get none of these government benefits they got, these set asides. This is directed towards it was population control, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us don't realize until it's too late. And then a lot of us, we get paranoid and we start putting conspiracy. It's not wrong being a conspiracy theorist, but it's something wrong being conspiracy paranoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but one thing I can honestly tell you, Harvey, in my state, when
Mm-hmm.
I go out, I try not to go out that often, but when I do, I always see Black people with masks on.
Yeah.
If anything else, I see us on with it more than anyone else.
Because it touched our communities. I guarantee you, somebody in our community has a friend or family that is touched.
Yeah.
I did not expect to lose that many people to this virus. I mean, I was always saying, please don't let that be me. You know what I mean? But when you start seeing your uncles and your cousins, and your friends, and your neighbors in the community that you grew up in or know of being buried, then I think a lot of people in our community start taking it serious, because you even see gangbangers with masks on.
Yeah.
Now they supposed to be the idiots of the community, right? Even they got enough sense to put masks on. Think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised what a gangbanger knows. They're not as dumb as you think.
I'm not condoning that type of life, but a lot of them do it because there's no jobs, or they're being denied, or they've been taught things, or they've been told discouraging things. You know what I mean? So these kids, they got smartphones. After a while, they're like, man, this many people died. Damn, dude down the street, I knew dude, he was young and strong. He dead. When you start seeing all these funerals every week, I mean, every day is a funeral in our neighborhood. And it's not gang related. It's not cancer. It's from this damn virus.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm these white folk, they the ones spreading this stuff around. Let's just keep it real.
Now, Harvey, do you pay attention? Do you pay attention to the ones that have been hospitalized and came out?
Yeah.
Now, around here, I don't know, what they do in your area. I'm sure it's probably something similar. I was taking notice when they leave the hospital, they were giving them D3, vitamin D3, and a bunch of vitamin C. And they were just giving them a bunch, like they wanted them to take like a supplement cocktail every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was really interesting. I was like, okay, but these were people that were hospitalized. They finally tested negative and they were able to get released from the hospital. And I was just reading some of the local articles because I just wanted to see what they were told to do when they left. And it looks like they just advised them to take like a vitamin cocktail every day.
Well, when that COVID happens, they put you on a ventilator. And a lot of people realize they turn your body, you laying on your stomach. Because the fluids, your blood is like, how it's turning like a slime almost. It gets dark. They show. I was watching this report on Netflix, and they show what happened. Basically, your lungs. That's why some people, they tell you to cough, keep coughing and drinking fluids, because your body is sweating it out, and your lungs is like this gelling up. So that's why they turn you on your stomach. So they put the ventilator tube in your throat, and they also got a tube up your rear.
Now, one thing I noticed, Harvey, one thing I noticed, they don't talk a lot about the military and them going through COVID.
Oh, they got it. Oh, trust me, they got it. They don't want to know why, because they got to show the world that we still got the strongest military. But believe me, they called it. Remember that a few months back, the commander of that Navy ship was trying to let people know that there are people on his ship, and they got rid of them. And it was a blowback from the media and a lot of white folk, and they had to reinstate him. Because, I mean, come on. Military still got to go on leave. They still got families. They still got children. They still interact with the general public. You see what I'm saying? So it's not, and then they go to places around the globe that you guys can even fathom. We got military in China. We got military still in Iraq. We got military in Germany. You got military everywhere. So it's not that shocking that somebody got it. I'm surprised the numbers, and it's not as high as it is. But believe me, they got it. Because I was watching a video. I still, on Facebook, I subbed, even on YouTube, I subbed to where I was stationed at. And all the guys in uniform with masks on. Because if the military get affected, oh wow, watch all our enemies. They're gonna have a field day.
Yeah, yeah. Did you notice they have now a travel ban on Americans? Like there's some countries that don't want Americans traveling there.
Yeah. You know why? Because they see how many Americans are dying over here.
Yeah.
They see us on TV. I'm not going to wear a mask. They're like, well, you're not coming to our country.
Yeah.
And I can't blame them. We're arrogant. And unfortunately, arrogance is hurting other people. And this right here should tell people that we put a huckster in a White House and how dangerous he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. I'm pretty sure he get tested. His family get tested on a regular. Because then they say some of the Secret Service detail has caught it, and some of the people in those out there scouting for where the hurricane had died.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way in hell Trump ain't getting tested because he talk about that drug he was talking about because he has.
Hey Harvey, look, they wouldn't even tell you why his brother died.
No, they never released it. His brother had it.
Yeah, that's what I believe too.
I said they never said that he had a heart attack. He had cancer. No, his brother had it.
Yeah, I believe that too. I really do.
They
had his funeral up at the White House.
The White House. That's something they brought the coffin out. Sure he did. His brother had it. See, people. This is what I tell. Look, I don't care. Look, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I don't believe black people should align themselves with either party. My personal, I think we should align ourselves with our best interest. That's just me. But right now, I think that we have to really think about this. If you want the status quo, then fine, don't vote. But if you can't vote, vote, because I'm telling you, if this guy get 4 more years, it's going to get rough on us. If you notice this election cycle, the Democrats and Republicans been coming at black folk. For us to be only 13% of the population, y'all sweating us hard, or y'all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not. We already know that they work way too hard directing, trying to pander to us every single election cycle. We know that's not the case. But what do you think about Joe Biden and his crime bill, which really led up to so many black people being mass incarcerated?
Oh, I ain't never forgot about that. I remember in the 90s when the Democrats was pandering to the Republicans about the crime bill, Newt Gingrich and all of them. I said that we were going to pay for this when I was in high school, so I knew who it was going to affect. It was affecting guys my age, more so than anything. And my thing is that we had a delayed reaction on Joe Biden. If we wanted to criticize Joe Biden, we should have criticized him heavily back in the 90s. We should have criticized him back when he attempted to run for president in 2008, and then we should have criticized him when Obama picked him as vice president pick. You see what I'm saying? Now, doing it now while he's running for the White House, we need to catch 22, because some people say, well, I'm not going to vote. But if you don't vote, Donald Trump get to do whatever he want to do with the courts. They stack the courts up, the Supreme Court justice. Like,
you know what, Harvey? Think about this.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want that mail-in voting.
No, Trump doesn't.
And I think no matter what happens, Trump is going to try to scream that it's voter fraud. The mail-in vote should be considered invalid. That's what he's doing. You notice how he's having all these post office boxes removed all over the country?
Yeah, that's because he knew, first of all, as we said, me and you just said, we know we're not 13% of the population. They know that the black vote is probably is going to be the one that lead the charge again.
We're the swing voters, Harvey. We're the swing voters.
The swing vote. We always been a swing vote. But the thing is, you got so many people. You got Russia involved in it. You got these Russian bots on YouTube, leaving comments on Facebook. So I can pick it up real easy, the trolls and stuff. But when Trump started messing with the post office, that should have told everybody he's scared. Because when you move the sort machines, you move the mailboxes, you closing up places, that means you're afraid. That's why when he ran in 2016, they was stopping black folks from registering on Sunday at churches, soul suppose and stuff. They know that we got more power than we think as black people. I don't know why we don't understand our power and our worth in this country. We constantly get fed negative images. If we were just only a certain percentage of the population, they would ignore us. They don't even talk about the Asian community. They non-starter. But the black community, they're afraid. Because they know there's so much crap they ain't done to us. They're afraid that we're going to turn around and say, we're going to get our revenge. We don't think like that. We don't. Now, I keep telling people saying no reparations, no vote. How you going to get reparations if Trump is in the office?
Yeah, and really, you're not going to get it from Biden and Harris.
And you know how you get reparations? This is what you do. You saw what happened when George Floyd was murdered. The reason why these companies started donating money and everything, they said, these Negroes might going to stop boycotting, because you have to understand this pandemic hurt a lot of business. Just how you get reparations. You say, you know what? We're not going to watch your NFL games no more, cold turkey. We're not going to watch your NBA games. We're not going to go to your movies. We're not going to go to your stores and buy those extras that you guys advertise to us. And then these companies are going to start getting on these politicians and say, hey, look, you didn't get reparations or whatever you call to other groups of people. Let's figure out a way to give Black America what is needed. See, you got to hit them where it hurts. You had to hit them in their pockets. See, once we get on one page as a people, we're dangerous.
Yeah, well, I think an economic boycott is effective, because if you go and look at our past, it worked then. We have a history of economic boycotts working.
Yeah, and the thing is, people forget the reason why the Montgomery boycott was so successful, because Blacks said we ain't getting on their buses. They walked, they carpool, or they found other jobs and got other hustles going. And they made them. They made them. Think about it. Look how fast Apple was donating money to Black Lives Matter. Because people started saying, you know what? Why are we going to support a company that don't have no businesses in our neighborhood? Yeah, you got little small time owners, but there's no Apple store in a Black neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So they start donating money. Like we buy cars like anybody else. Where all the major car dealerships at in predominantly white neighborhoods? You have to travel to. Wait, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Harvey. I have not voted in a long time. I haven't.
I don't shame anybody for that. I don't shame anybody for that because everybody got their reasons. Because I'm not going to lie to you. At first, I was going to sit this one out myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, I really ain't feeling Biden. And and then I hope I'm not mispronouncing this sister's name. Kamala, however her name is pronounced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She has a history that she got. I mean, she's a prosecutor. Prosecutors do that. They put people in jail. But my thing is all of a sudden she flipped. Now I want to be with Joe, but you was ready to cut Joe's throat during the prime. You know what I mean? So that's issues in itself. And I think that's why a lot of people say, wait a minute, she's this and now she's that. But my thing, I'm looking at the bigger picture. Trump is too dangerous to be where he's at. You see what I'm saying? We got to control local elections because this is where it starts at the local level. We did at the state level. If Black Americans start saying at the local level, this is what we're going to do in our communities, and at the state level, the national politicians got to get on board. If they don't, they out of office. And after a while, we need to start seriously thinking about having a third party.
Well, this is how I see it. We've had our share of cutthroat Democrat politicians like the Clintons. It was Hillary that lobbied the crime bill and Bill signed it. And we saw what happened. We had all droves of people in the Black community going to jail on that 3 strikes you're out. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how much you've been keeping up with basketball, but they were going to do a boycott recently, and it was Obama that talked them out of it.
I told y'all about Obama. I've been seeing the videos. Everybody's getting mad at me. I said Obama did a great deal of disservice to the Black community. Why don't you tell young Black men who have a voice and some economic power to go back and play? Michael Jordan too. Michael Jordan and Obama both was a part of that. And then LeBron James went around and said, "Yeah, let's go back and play." Why would you do that?
Yeah,
that makes you look impotent. Even the white folks, that was a hell of a strike one day. That was just a day off.
But they would have had them by the balls.
They would have had them by the balls. And guess what? the ESPN, NBC, whoever, all these companies, these colleges that lose money say, hey, you guys better change what y'all doing in Washington. Get off that BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm reading some of the comments here. I can't make y'all see the way I see it. Y'all vote the way y'all going to vote. Y'all going to see the world you're going to see. I'm just telling y'all, think about what has been going on the last few years. You know, that's all I'm saying. But the thing is, with the NBA, they had everybody spooked. Look, all of the soccer took off. The WNBA, Major League Baseball even took off. They said we don't follow the NBA league. Because the NBA is the first people that went on shut everything down when the whole virus came out. Remember? They didn't want to shut down. They know which way the bread is buttered in this country. And by Obama butting in, by him telling them to go out and play, that was the worst thing you could tell these young brothers to do. Because now people gonna look at them like, well, we don't. Who can we go to? Who could be a voice in our community? I'm not saying that celebrities should necessarily be a voice, but they had a lot of people charged up that just a few hours they did it.
Yeah.
And you had Obama, and Obama, he don't. Oh boy, I'm trying to be respectful to the man, but he did a lot of damage to the Black community. He really did. And it's going to be 20 years down the line when Black folks start to realize what he did. Just like with the Clintons. People love Bill Clinton. Those others say, why y'all like Bill Clinton? Oh, he down. He first bought like, okay. But he didn't want to sign them laws into effect that it's still affecting our community to this day.
Yeah. 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 I can't believe they followed Obama's advice. You know, to me, it would have been a huge impact if they would have stuck by their word and did the boycott. You know, it would have pretty much brought sports down to its knees in the country.
Yeah, and I mean, I was happy when I heard that the Milwaukee Bucks took the lead. I'm like, wow, this is something that these guys that have been around for a long time should have been doing. And then the next day they announced, and you come to find that Obama had something to do with it. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan had some. Of course, Michael Jordan wanted him to go play. He makes money out there. He's an owner. He got financial considerations, but you know,
like I heard he got some new position in the NBA. I gotta go back and look, but he just got some kind of new position, Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at some of the comments, and I know some of y'all still don't understand what I'm trying to say, and I can't make y'all understand what's going on, but y'all don't understand right now. It's a pandemic going on. We got a commander-in-chief that's trying to start race wars. He's trying to encourage white folk to go to the polls or the election to do harm to our people, okay? He's out there talking about law and order and stuff. I'm not defending Joe Biden. I am not defending him, okay? See, people ain't listening. Did I say anything defending Joe Biden? Lisa, did I defend Joe Biden?
No.
I didn't defend him. I know Joe Biden record.
Yeah, I mean Joe Biden. Yeah, he was close with the Dixiecrats.
Yeah,
in the Senate. Yeah,
Obama,
that's why he got that name, Jim Crow Joe. Y'all know what his name is.
I'm not defending him. I'm saying, look at the bigger picture. See, this is the problem. We get too damn emotional, and we don't understand our history. See, we got to treat this as a business transaction right now. You see what I'm saying? And people don't understand. That's why we keep getting played. See, y'all keep talking about nothing's going to change, but we figure you just vote and that's it. No, I've said for years, know your history, control your dollar. Money makes this world run. And right now, this country is suffering, and you guys are going to suffer right along with it. So if you guys want 4 more years of this idiot that's stoking up racial flames and stuff, by all means. But don't be coming to my channel saying, what are we going to do? Because we always do this. We got to look at the bigger picture. You think the Asian community give a damn about Trump and them? They said we'll vote, we do our own thing. You think look at the Hispanic community. They support each other. We don't do that. So right now we got to look at the bigger picture. I can't stand Joe Biden. Remember, but he was the vice president to what president? Barack Obama. What did Barack Obama do for us for 8 years?
I have to blow the dust off of my brain. I can't recall anything. I was equally mad at Michelle Obama. She had made a comment of, pretty much blaming us for Trump being in office because we didn't vote for Hillary. And for the first time in my life, I had to tell Michelle Obama, F you. Exactly. I really did.
We didn't vote. 56 to 60% of white women to the left and to the right voted for Trump.
Yes.
We didn't do that. Black folks still overwhelmingly 97% voted Democrat.
But Harvey, they always blame us though.
Because we too emotional, and the people that we got in front of us, we don't know how to say, no, you wrong. See, my thing is, when Barack Obama said something about my legacy, I knew right then and there, I said, y'all lost the election. Because you just told the truth. You worry about your legacy. You ain't worry about the people that stood in long ass lines and voted for you. And since Obama got office, we've been under attack ever since, more so than normal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm looking at some of these comments. Some of them, I recognize them for some of the people. Some of these are trolls. I'm looking at it right now. When they keep talking about reparations, I'm like, let me explain. I want y'all to use logic for a second. I want reparations too. I think that we deserve reparations. Those of us who are descended from slaves, right? In this country. But how are you going to get it when you got somebody in the White House right now basically telling white folk, go out there and do what you're going to do to black folk without saying it out loud? You see what I'm saying? See, we gotta be a little bit smarter than this. We got to think. I keep telling y'all, step to the side, observe everything, analyze. See, we've been too emotional. This is why they sitting there now. They try to say Kanye West is going to mess the election up. You really think Kanye West is going to take votes from Biden? Come on.
No, Kanye can't even get on the ballot in
some states. So that's a red herring. Then they say, well, black men need to vote because black women are the reason why you say the Democratic Party. So now you try to divide black men and black women up. But I thought blacks.
Yeah, but they don't do that to no one else, Harvey. They don't talk about, Latino women vote more than Latino men or Asian women. They only do that to us.
See, and this is why I keep trying to tell you, we're being manipulated. This is why I keep telling y'all, look at this as a business transaction. Right now, Kamala and Joe Biden, they interviewing for a job, right? And then we tell them, like, look, this we expect. Okay, if you can't meet this quality, if you can't say decisively, this is what you're going to do for us, hey, we ain't going to vote for you. You know what I mean?
And well, you know what, Harvey? They had asked her about her record with black men because when she was the attorney general for California, she locked up a lot of black men. Some of those men were innocent. Well, I was following how she was answering the question, and I found it really interesting. They asked her specifically about black men, and then by the time she got finished answering the question, she was talking about all men.
Oh, yeah, I peeped that. Of course she was going to lie. She know that she just San Francisco. We know how to get down there. You know, we knew she was not going to answer. She pandered when she started being a race with Joe Biden during the primaries. You know, I was the little girl on the bus. Okay. But when Obama was in office, you didn't say nothing about Obama picking Biden to be his vice president. And when Obama was in office, they was all sitting down, laughing and hugging with each other. Those they stopped putting out those old pictures of her and Biden all huggy on each other.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is they try to manipulate blacks. They know racism is a sensitive thing for us. They know it's something we experience every day. You see, so both parties are no good. And I'm trying to tell people, I'm not defending Joe Biden or Harris. Believe me, I'm not. Believe me, I'm holding my nose on this one. But y'all got to understand, it's a pandemic going on. A lot of our brothers and sisters' businesses are going under. A lot of people, these kids can't even go to school properly. You see what I'm saying? So right now, we need to be smart with this. Now, yeah, I understand we have to have a black agenda. But you guess what? You got other blacks getting in the media telling black folk we need to leave America. You need to get over it. Get over being a slavery or whatever.
Oh yeah, Akon.
Mm-hmm. And I forget this sister's name. She has a YouTube channel, Yvette. Carnett was his name.
Yeah.
She was did an interview on ABC a few months back. And it was talking about ADOS. And the foreign-born blacks that come over here and leapfrog all of us was telling us to get over it. I don't see us calling.
Harvey, I had one come in my comment section. And actually the comment ended up being hidden. And I read through it and they were saying, well, I came over here from Africa 20 years ago and I'm now making 6 figures. What the hell is y'all problem? And I had to erase it. But, they are looking at everything from the outside in.
Exactly.
And
I'm saying this, so Harvey thinks we're being a better position, but I never said. See, y'all twisting my words. See, you know what? It's nuance, but I don't expect people to always get what I'm saying. That's cool, But what these brothers and sisters do, they come over here, they talk about how bad it is in their country. They come over here and they leapfrog over us. Then when blacks, Americans start saying, hey, wait a minute, you guys are complaining too much, they run back to their country, live high off the hall. That bothers me. If your country is so great, why don't you come over here and jump in front of us?
Mm-hmm.
But I just, like I said, I just want my people to be a little bit more analytical. I know there are gonna be people going to misinterpret what I'm saying, and I'm trying to explain it to people in a way that they get. But you know how it is.
Well, my last vote was I did vote for Obama the first time around. Pointed at him, I did not vote for him.
You know what? My dad, I remember when people forget Obama, when he came on the stage was 2004, Democratic Convention. Everybody in the media and the Democrats was hyping him. I'm like, why y'all hyping him? He ain't the first black dude that gave a good speech. You know what I mean? Okay, fine. I noticed on the military post, they was putting out all his books and stuff, the 2 books he wrote about his father and everything. I'm like, he gonna be president. They hyping him up. When you put in the see, people don't understand the military mostly is leans to the right. You had a black man book out there in the open. I mean, stacked at the PX.
Yeah.
I said thumbs up, and then they kept asking him, is he going to run? He said, no, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to run. When you heard what's his name? Harry Reid and all the people was about, you should run, you should run, you should run. I said, wait a minute. Okay, I get it. And then when they asked him he's going to run on Jay Leno, he said, yeah, I think I'm going to run. I knew that then was a fix. He went on Larry King. Larry King asked him about racism. When he sat there and was denied about racism, I said, I can't support dude. I can't. Yeah. And then when he ran and won, I said, do we want John McCain and Sarah Palin? Because Sarah Palin, she's an idiot. Because John McCain, let's just be honest, Biden is not going. I gotta say this. I may be wrong. Let's just say Biden and Harris win, right? Biden had to do a 4th term. He's 78 years old. That job stressed you. Look how fast Obama hair turned gray in less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I want people to think about this. So we was going to vote for John McCain and Sarah Palin. So if McCain died in office or they complete term, Sarah, you'd have had another idiot in charge. You know what I mean? We complained about Bush, so I said, I'm gonna hold my nose and vote for Obama. And I said, I'm gonna give him 2 years. We had the Senate and the Congress. They defunded Acorn. They threw Sherrod under the bus, and I'm sitting there like, okay. And then they went out to Farrakhan, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. I'm waiting for it. Then he was dismissive of what went down with the people complaining. He said, kick off your house shoes and go vote. And he started singing, let's stay together. Well, Al Green, whatever. And black folks thought, oh my gosh, he's singing. Oh, I'm like, y'all being lullaby to sleep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of our people are like that. And Chima Madhu, I do know all foreign blacks are not like that. In fact, I live near some that really do understand our plight here in this country. I'm not talking about all, but I was just saying I had that one person that said they were from Africa and they've been here 20 years and make 6 figures. And what the hell is our problem? Why do we whine so much and all that stuff? I know all are not like that, but that one particular person that came in my comment section was.
And you know what, Lisa? See, that's what I'm talking about. See, people should know when you talk about a certain subject, you're not talking to absolutes. You know what I mean? You don't know everybody. So when people say, "Oh, they talking about all African," no, we're not. We know got a lot of brothers and sisters that want to help us. They want us to be more cohesive. But you got people like Akon getting in the media telling black folk, "Y'all need to get over stuff." How dare you? How dare you use your voice to sit in front of a Caucasian male and say something like that? No other group would ever say that. If even they thought it, they would never say it.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about? And I'm glad Demetrius flagged kind of, part of his comment. What do you think about these Democratic politicians always focusing on illegals?
They hedging their bet. They hedging their bet whether blacks come out and vote. They figure we kill two birds with one stone. My thing is, if you come to this country illegal, you don't have a voice. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have any say in an election. You know what I mean? If you're illegal, that means you got to go to a process. You got to take the test and everything. The problem is we wasn't paying attention the last 30 years. And they let them come in, they get tax breaks, they come into our community and get fed off us, and they grease the wheel. We didn't do that. We didn't say anything. So now they got a foothold in this country. And now they pander to them because, as you can see in the comment section, a lot of us are divided. You know what I mean? And they pay attention to this. Like I said, I don't know everything, folks. I'm just saying what I feel that I got to do. You know, you don't have to agree with me, and I'm not knocking anybody who have a different opinion. I'm just telling y'all, be careful with this. Our lives are at stake. That's all I'm saying.
Now, see, my issue, Harvey, with the illegal thing is they gave them sanctuary cities, counties, sanctuary states, and they are protected from law enforcement in many cases. And you also, because I would hear the local politicians here saying, "I will die protecting these people." Wait a minute. What? You got a black population that's being gunned down. I don't hear no politician stepping forward talking about, "I will die to protect this community." But they sure will say it about the illegals.
But you know why? Because every time we talk about our issues, we include them in our issues. Black and brown people. Stop saying brown people.
Yeah, no, I'm not down with no black and brown coalition. Plus, it doesn't exist. It don't exist.
And I'm serious. That's what happened. Chicago has been a sanctuary city for 30 years, going on actually 25, 30 years almost. And Black Chicago, we figured, we all got some common connection and stuff. And I'm like, no, they don't, because they come into our community, get the jobs, then they run into the suburbs and live, and then they hire them in the suburbs and freeze us out. You know, like right now they did the census. The census, they're going to reorganize a lot of districts. A lot of these people are illegal. How do they get a say? We don't go after the banks. We don't say, wait a minute, how do they get grants? How do they get loans? They can't speak the language. You know,
they can get driver's license. They can get driver's license way easier than the average citizen.
Yeah. In Illinois, 2 years ago, they passed a law where they said that illegals can drive. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I broke the law all these years and decided to go in and say I want a license, people are going to say, well, how long you lived in the state? 10 years. So you've been driving 10 years? Oh, you can't get a license. You know what I mean? They say, well, how long you been in the United States? I want to start a business. Well, what? You have no collateral. You have nothing. But they give them business loans. Because don't you find it amazing that somebody can come from a foreign country, can open a gas station up in your community?
Yeah. I mean, look, you got people in the hood with a bunch of Arab stores and these East Indians running the store, these Koreans running the store. And you look around, it's like, okay, well, what about the people that live in the community? Where's the store?
And then they won't let you go into they won't, if you're able to get into open a business, they won't support you.
Yeah.
They won't support you. I've seen Black people try to open business. These communities, their business mysteriously catch on fire, or people don't shop. Look how the hair supply. Here it is. Black women should have control of that market. Should be running that. That should be a Black female ran division. Who's running? Koreans. They realized that when they came over in the 80s and stuff, they said, we're not going to sell y'all hamburgers and shrimp fried rice no more. We're going to get where the money's at. We're going to go get the nail shops. We're going to go get the wig shops. You see? And sat back for years and allowed it to happen. Now, slowly but surely, some people, we come out of that dreamlike state. We're like, what the hell did we do? Look what they did. There was supermarkets in our neighborhood at one time. By the 1990s, they started running out of the neighborhood. Then you start getting all the mom and pops that come in selling bad meat, nothing but potato chips and candy and stuff. You saw a lot of fast food restaurants popped in our neighborhood. We allowed it to a certain degree. And those of us who's trying to fix it, we all want the same thing, but I think we all not listen to each other at the same time. You see what I'm saying? That's why I got issues with this. You know, some of these brothers and sisters with Black Lives Matter. I appreciate their passion, but some things you shouldn't say in public.
Yeah, but then, Black Lives Matter has been co-opted.
It's been co-opted big time.
Yeah. I mean, you got more white people in it now than you do Black people when you look at the protests.
That's when I said, okay, Black folks should have stepped back and said, wait a minute. It's cool if white folks want to come in, they want to fight, and Black Lives Matter say, this is what you guys do. We don't need you tearing up the streets because we're going to get blamed for it. And it should be one united voice. It should be chapters, but people speaking. Like that girl said a few weeks ago in Chicago, they got insurance. When she said that, I said, y'all just fucked up. Y'all just messed up. Y'all done got this talking point they're going to use, and they haven't used. This is why now they saying Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. They put it up there with Antifa and stuff. You know what I mean? Because there's a bunch of white. If you look at all the video, they show some video of them burning them business down in Wisconsin. Those are white people doing that. Yeah.
But what do you think about that YouTuber, rich YouTuber, by the way, because YouTube allow, very selective individuals to become wealthy. And Jake Paul, when George Floyd was killed, he went out looting. And I mean, there are still shots of him running in stores and bringing out products in his hands. And then shortly after that, they raided his mansion for weapons. But, I notice how YouTube will turn a blind eye to certain individuals, and we can talk about the issues of what's going on in the Black community and our channels get shut down. I'm just saying.
You know what? When I saw that, they said YouTuber, they showed us mansion. This man made millions of dollars off YouTube. He's got a mansion. And he's still out there committing crime. He's still on YouTube. They're not talking about him in the news. They did it briefly, but they should be having them all platforms on YouTuber. All those companies that advertise on his channels, they should have been running for the hills. But they didn't. That shows you no matter what they do, they're always going to be protected. That's why.
If you remember, Logan Paul showed a dead body hanging in Japan, and YouTube let him take the video down himself. They didn't even take it down.
Nope. Because they're not going to destroy another white man. Look what they did. Look what happened to the affluenza kid. He killed 4 people. What did they say? We don't want to mess his life up.
Yep.
Every time they get caught with their hands in the cookie jar, what do they say? We don't want to mess them up. We don't want to destroy anything. It's scorched earth when it comes down to us.
Yeah. We are just talking about the things that are impacting our community. Okay. We don't have no control over the fact that your cops are out here killing us, or you're seeing our kids get mistreated, or you'll see our people walking along and some Karen comes along and just start randomly messing with them. And what the hell is up with these Karens walking up to our people talking about, I need to see your ID? Like, slave, you show me your slave papers, okay?
I'm gonna tell you something. This has been going on for years. It's just that we got video of it now. And some of these women, they want to be internet famous. Because some of it is coming across like they know they're being recorded. They just want to be on the internet. But a lot of this is true. Black men especially have dealt with this, going some places where a white woman see us, they react, they start screaming, or they get in our face. What are you doing here? Question us like we're a little boy.
Yeah.
Now we got the technology to see it. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. If that was me, in my rational brain, I would just sit there and don't say anything. But my honest me, I think I would probably be in jail or dead by now. I ain't gonna lie to you, because there's no way I'm gonna let somebody get in my face and question me like that. How dare you question me if I ain't getting under you? I'm not talking to you. I'm gonna know you. Leave me alone. But see, they do that when they think we don't belong in their neighborhood. But they come in our neighborhood, we don't say anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always been that way too. You know, I even see that around here. You know, they'll come in and out of a black neighborhood, you know, doing business or, you know, repairing somebody's house or putting a new roof on someone's house. But, you know, the moment a black person step foot in their neighborhood, here they come out the front door. What you doing here? Why are you in this neighborhood?
And we've been conditioned to allow them to come in our neighborhood. Because I remember when I was working in management, coming home late in the evening or at night, I'm going through a predominantly black neighborhood, and I see a bunch of white folk. I'm like, they definitely don't live in a neighborhood. But then a few days later, you hear about something happening. Like, I wonder if it was those people. You know what I mean? You sit there, you think about that. When you and I, no matter what kind of car we drive, no matter what business we doing, they hawking us. They hawking us. What's that black woman here? What is that black guy there? What are you here for? Other day, I was watching a brother was jogging. They arrested. He was in jail for 2 days when they found out he's the wrong dude.
Yeah.
It bothers me that we haven't come together in a cohesive way and said, we're not gonna let you do this. If you're gonna do this to us, when you come in our neighborhood, you gotta show why you're in our neighborhood. Because a lot of our children have gone missing.
Yeah. You know what, CC, I just want to address this message because something happened to a black man that I know that was married to a white woman, and things didn't work out. So they ended up splitting. She went back to the house to get her belongings, started a fight with him. And I remember he was telling me about this. Do you know she started calling the man she was still technically married to the N-word? She called the cops, hoping he would show up. And she really set him up bad because when they were arguing, she dialed 911 and made sure they could hear him yelling back at her. When the cops came, she was whining and carrying on, trying to get the cops to kill him. This was the man she was married to. She was trying to get this brother killed. So it don't matter if you're a stranger on the street or you're someone they're married to. They can flip on you that easy. So, I mean, when he told me that, it just blew me away. But yeah, that's what a woman he married that was white did to him.
She was told what to do at a young age. They tell their children at a young age how to deal with us, how to neutralize us.
Mm-hmm.
And CC, I want to address that as well. First of all, we got to stop making like all black men date white women. That's a misnomer.
No, that is definitely not true.
It's not true. Now, and let me be honest. As a man, and I'm going to be honest as an American male, we get bombarded with images from the time we can crawl, walk, and talk of white women, blonde-haired white women being an object of desire. Of course, you're going to be conditioned to look at a white woman at first. And that's all you know until you start interacting with black females. Let me tell you something. And I know people that laugh at me like, oh, Harvey, my first crush were white females because that's what you saw on TV. You didn't see a lot of black girls until I saw Kim Fields, till I saw Bernadette Standers, Thelma, till I started seeing those sisters, Janet Jackson on a regular basis. You see what I'm saying? Then your perception started to change when you go to school, you interact with black females. You see what I'm saying? See, understand we're conditioned like black girls are conditioned the same way. They give y'all, when y'all babies, they give y'all blonde, blue-eyed dogs. See, we're conditioned. Now, if you get a black male who's going through puberty, going through his early 20s, and he got out, he dated white girls and whatever, and he still want to marry one, then that's on him at that point. Because I'm pretty sure he got called a nigga. I'm pretty sure he got treated as a sexual object. I can speak firsthand to that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You never see me advocate interethnic relationships on my video. You never see me promote white women. They already do that in society. I'll talk about beautiful sisters all the time. Matter of fact, What I'm talking to a sister right now. You don't see me on no white women channels. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that narrative that black men date and only want to be a white, well, we got to stop pushing that.
No, that's not true. You know, I mean, contrary to what people believe, most black men are still with black women.
Still with black women. It's just the problem is that our women are hurt, just like our brothers are hurt, and we're not communicating with each other the proper way. We let other people tell us. I mean, I watch these talk shows. You got white women and white men telling black people how we should interact with each other. How dare you?
Yeah, but you know what, Harvey? It goes even deeper than that. I don't think, you know, even with child support, and even when people are going through divorce, I don't like how these white courts are involved with what black people do with their kids. You know, and I just got a problem with that. How are you going to tell us what to do with our kids and what this man need to do with his kids and what this woman need? I don't like that. I never liked that concept.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. I've said this in videos. I was a little boy. With 87, I noticed the change when they started interacting with our parents' relationships and how they parent us. And you know what? Since 1989, we've been paying for it. Think about it.
Yeah.
Back prior to 1988, we didn't have these issues. Like, I mean, you had some dudes with no good. You had some women with no good. But most part, our community was in a better place. Grandparents were still involved, aunts and uncles. We respected each other's space. Yeah. For the last 30 years, we had people telling us how to interact with each other. And look how to our community.
Yeah. Now, I do want to ask you about Oprah. I'm glad Christopher brought that up. What do you think about her throwing up those Breonna Taylor billboards in the country?
She full of it. That's PR. That's a PR thing. And let me address something real quick. Is Harvey not noticing black men entertainment and sports? That's not a lot of brothers in entertainment. Y'all keep seeing the same images over and over of the same dudes. There's a lot of brothers are married to black women. Y'all got to stop that. Stop. Okay, but I'm sorry. But back to Oprah. Oprah messed up this year, and last year, and her friend Gail. And they noticed that they lost a lot of sisters to defend Oprah. And once they realized they lost a lot of black women, they decided, you know what, we got to get back in their graces. Let's go find something to latch on to. Why didn't they go out there and talk about Breonna? What's the sister? I've been mentioning their names over the years. The one got shot in Detroit by that white man, got her face blown off. Why didn't Oprah say anything then? Or what about the sister that was here in Chicago, got shot by a Chicago police officer? Or what about the missing black female to go missing every day in this country? It was a postal worker from the south side of Chicago went missing. Oprah lived in Chicago 30-something years, and Oprah had nothing to do with black females. Mm-hmm. Now, all of a sudden, because there's a pandemic and people have been calling out Oprah on her BS the last year or so, now Oprah want to say, I'm going to manipulate y'all. I'm going to put some billboards. You in the media, you put some cheap billboards? You mean to tell me you can donate money to these organizations or these missing exploited women, to these battered women organizations? You mean to tell me Oprah can say, well, you know what? I'm going to hire some lawyers to assist the family. You know what I mean? That's when you show power and influence, not some cheap billboard, not some rinky-dink. She even get the expensive billboards, the digital. She's got the paper billboards that over a few months, somebody gonna plaster over them some advertisement. Oprah thinks she's slick. Monique called it out, and I told you, I said, Monique ain't lying. Oprah is a rat. Oprah panicked. She lied and said, oh, I'm starting the network. Yeah, when they was failing, because remember, all the initial shows was geared to what? White women.
Yeah.
Asian women. When they didn't come over because they wasn't getting nothing free from her, who she turned around? Let me go get some black women, some gay blacks to help save this network. Then we come to find out she was just a figurehead. Mm-hmm. Then they paid her last year. Going on Michael Jackson, man had been dead 10 years, who was cleared by the FBI, mind you. She sit with two white dudes that have been known a lot. And I don't care, the haterade, I don't care. Michael Jackson did this. But when he died, you was on the show just a few months about, Michael touched me in so many ways. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm yelling at people that, yo, don't trust her. The people in Chicago, we got to know who she really is. And then her and her friend Gail decided they want to go out here and diss R. Kelly and Kobe Bryant. And that's when black women said, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. And now she's trying to manipulate y'all. I'm going to put Breonna Taylor on the cover of, a magazine is about to go out of print. All these years, been Oprah Winfrey magazine, not one black female. So now she thinks she's slick.
Yeah, well, yeah, Michael Jackson's birthday was, I believe, the 29th. They said he would have been 62 years old had he lived.
Yeah. And the thing is, she went out there and she joined that I've been blank on that Me Too. She went out there. We have to believe women all the time. And when black women start saying, "What about us getting beaten, going missing, and stuff?" You had a daily talk show, and they speak to the issues of black women.
No, she sure didn't.
So and then you had a bunch of black men like my grandfather's age and my father's age, like, sisters, why y'all following this chick? She don't have nothing to do with y'all. She went all the way to Africa. And I'm not knocking us helping our people globally, but it was a slap in the face to go all the way to Africa when you had black girls in the Chicago area or in Wisconsin or Michigan that would needed school or equipment, things that geared to them. She didn't do that. She said, black kids don't care about education. They just want iPods and Jordans. That's what she said. She said,
not that's not all the way true. And it made me wonder, how hard did you really try to get a school in America? It don't seem like she tried very hard.
She didn't. It is, and then I don't recall now. I could be wrong. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, I don't even think she was ever on Oprah Winfrey's show, but she was on Donahue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sharon, for bringing this up. Yeah. Oh, she loved herself some Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. And then you had Steven Spielberg got a daughter who's into porn and selling her body and stuff. And all these people that picture that y'all saw a video when she got what's her name? I'm going blank. Her and Gail was all them white folk that knew Harvey Weinstein. You know, they all went silent on Harvey Weinstein. They went on Jeffrey Epstein, all of them.
Yeah. Yep, sure did. Yep. But yeah, and as far as Gail is concerned, I was never a big Gail fan anyway. You know.
You know, like I said, I want to, and maybe I should do this disclaimer. I'm not talking about all black women, please, because I know there's gonna be somebody gonna come in. He's attacking Oprah Winfrey. For years, y'all just get mad at me, and I say, y'all, aren't y'all paying attention to this woman? She has nothing to do with y'all. She lived in a black city, Chicago. She had nothing to do with black women. Think about that. Her show taped on the Harvey West Side. Now, that part of the West Side has been gentrified now, but over there was a lot of black women that couldn't get into her show. Mm-hmm. She didn't go speak to black women. All of a sudden, she going to the Essence Awards.
Harvey, I was through when I saw her staff. One day, I was watching Oprah Winfrey show, and she went backstage and said, "I want y'all to meet my staff. I ain't never seen so many white women before in my life."
The executive producer, the only black person, was the gay hairdresser.
Yeah. And I was like, "What? Wait a minute. What kind of staff is that?" I mean, that blew me away.
And I'll tell you something. When I was in high school, excuse me, the school I went to is right down the street. Because, well, matter of fact, it's about 4 or 5 high schools in the area. But my school, it was Westinghouse, Marshall, Crane, Flower, Manley. Then you had Whitney Young a little bit further, closer to downtown. But it was all in that area. And I was on student council, and I said, you know what? I know every year they get rid of news equipment, or every 2 years. And I wanted to see if she can donate any old equipment to us. Video cameras, the TV stuff they're not using anymore. And then I also said, well, why don't we learn some journalism? You know, because in the white schools, they have those things. Because We need, like I said, we need black media. Even in our high school, I knew we needed media. So I wrote to her. Now I knew I wasn't gonna get in touch with Oprah. At least I thought maybe one of her assistants. I wish I kept that letter. I'm sorry, but we do not donate equipment to schools. We can, da 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 da. Maybe we can assist with a fundraiser. And when I tried to write back, they said da 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 da. Right now, Miss Winfrey and them's best to just feel. I can't remember how she said, but basically it was a no.
Uh-huh.
And then I found out that she donated money to one of these suburban white schools. I'm like, in a black neighborhood, but you had to go all the way out these what 15 to 20 miles or so. You donate money to these schools. Then when people call her out on certain things, she went to a black private school right around the corner from my high school and donating the money. And I'm sitting there like, but y'all do know our mothers and grandmothers and our parents, and even us as kids, we watched your show. We watched it. It was a local talk show, AM Chicago. When she went national, she changed.
Uh-huh.
Bill Cosby whispered to her, told her how to count her money. Don't let nobody, you sign everything. You see what she did to Bill Cosby? She ain't say a blessed thing in his defense.
I know. So, he's trying to do an appeal now.
And he should be out of jail. All Donald Trump friends are out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
Guys got caught red-handed doing stuff.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
And I want to say this to you, Lisa. If I feel like if I overtalk during this chat, I apologize.
No, you're fine.
And I know that a lot of people from Chicago have wrote to Oprah Winfrey about her just showing up at a grand opening of a restaurant or seeing if she come speak to a school. She couldn't be bothered. So now, seeing her get on TV with Chadwick Boseman the other day, she was on TV crying with fake tears about Chadwick Boseman. I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
She like I said, I'm not saying this woman got to go in her pockets and give her money. I'm not saying that, but don't forget who got you to the dance.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I agree with that. Boy, yeah. I mean, the way I saw Oprah years ago, I have to be honest with you. I didn't see how crooked she was until about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because I was working and I just wasn't really watching that much TV. And I certainly the only time I would catch Oprah if I just happened to have a day off.
Yeah,
I would catch her show. But other than that, I was not that heavily into her show like a lot of people were.
I think that's what a lot of people in our community, especially sisters, when y'all do the 9 to 5, and Oprah usually on in the morning or afternoon. So you came home, you didn't know what she had on during the daytime, and you wasn't really thinking about that. You saw a successful black woman doing her thing, you know what I mean? And y'all took pride in that. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, when you was off work and you sat back and really watched the show, you're like, nah, she didn't say that. Nah, she didn't do that. Maybe just because my mom used to get mad at me and my father, like, he said, why y'all watch Oprah? She be talking about us, and not just black men, but black women too. No, you guys are just sensitive. So one day, just before my mother had passed, she had this restaurant called Kenny's Ribs in Chicago. And when she asked, I saw the episode, I said, Mama, you might want to watch this. Because what she about to say, what's a hot link? My mother said, get out of here. I said, a black woman gonna ask them what a hot link is. You knew she was phoning in. You know what I mean? So what black people don't know about no hot links. So and my mother said she doing that for the white woman. I said, I told you. And then she said, and then she was acting like, I never had barbecue like this before. I really don't eat barbecue like this. I'm like, you grew up in the South. Come on.
Yeah.
And my mother, from that day until she passed, she stopped watching Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Here's our last topic: Chadwick Boseman.
Oh boy. That I never met the brother, but knowing that he was I'm just a few months older than him, and he died of that type of cancer, and he didn't tell anybody. That was a strong brother. But if you look back at some of his images, you could tell he was sick. It's just that we wasn't putting two and two together at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, he's like most black men are private with their health issues because he more than likely he's from raised like I was, that you kept your private business private. You know, he didn't go out there and do the Hollywood thing. Oh, look at me, I got cancer, take pity on me. He didn't do that. I mean, he still went out there and went around to little kids at a St. Jude who had cancer and was with them. That's strong because when you get diagnosed with colon cancer in this stage, they said this different stage, and you having surgery and chemo and it's not going away, you know your time is near.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that brother, you know, but I did hear some things. I'm glad that they said since he's passed, a lot of men and women, but a lot of black men are questioning going to want to get tested now. Only problem is that with this COVID going on, hospitals can't take the capacity. They got to screen you. You have to give you know what I mean? You just can't go in and request that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I had a colon exam procedure this year. The prep is not as bad. It's the after that airs in your stomach. Believe me, I'm glad that they went in there and they found 3 polyps, but they was benign. They said I don't have to take a test till I'm 54, so I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But it would behoove you as any human being, but especially young black men, if you have access to a hospital, go get that test. Because you know we'll get the best health care as it is. So if you can do preventive maintenance, that would be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, it was sad to see him go at 43. That was so young. It was so young, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember watching him when he was playing Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. I remember him when he was on All My Children, those 2 episodes. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan wouldn't be on TV.
Yeah.
Because Chadwick Boseman, by him being 10 years older, he originally played the character on All My Children. When he went in there, because he said in his speech, he went in there and told them what the character is. They picked up like, this guy's too old. He ain't gonna play this character the way we want him to play it. So they recast Michael B. Jordan. So in essence, if it was for Chadwick, we would have Michael B. Jordan. That's why Michael B. Jordan is taking it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said in interviews, he said Chadwick Boseman, even before Chadwick Boseman became that name, Michael B. Jordan would say, hey, this brother, Chadwick Boseman, he the one that was the reason why I was able to get All My Children, then The Wire, that led to this and led to that.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty amazing. You know, when you go and read some of the articles, he really touched a lot of people. He really did in his short life.
He did. And the man was private. He got married. Nobody even knew he was married till they said the other day.
Yeah.
That's the character Reggie, All My Children. Thank you. I knew it started. I was trying to remember what his name was. But he was private. And when I saw him in April, when everybody was saying why he lost some weight, I knew that was a sick weight. I knew it wasn't for no movie part. It was a sick weight. And I said, I hope to God he don't have what I think he have. And Friday confirmed. I never thought about HIV and nothing like that, because you got to stop pushing that lie that black folks got higher rates of HIV. But I knew it was cancer. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that you know, he still went out there and worked.
He sure did.
He went out there and worked, and then they kept showing that movie Spike Lee just did, The Five Bloods, when he sung that Grandma's Hand that Bill Withers song.
Yeah,
I cried because it was like he was telling them like, hey, even though that was a scene in the movie, that was from his soul. You know, you're like, look, this is me. I'm letting it all out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I want people to understand this brother. I never seen them react. Let me not take that back. Michael Jackson, Prince, they reacted that way because they was worldwide. Chadwick Boseman had a relatively short career as a name. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the Black Panther and people liking that movie, or that's the first time a big budget. And we need to make sure that we don't throw Wesley Snipes under the bus, because he was actually the first black, I wouldn't say black superhero, but had a franchise. But people gravitated to Black Panther because it was a big budget Marvel film.
No, Harvey, I got to stop you. We had Meteor Man.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. You know what? You're right. Robert Townsend, Meteor Man. But I guess franchise wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because technically people looked at Richard Roundtree, Shaft as a superhero.
Yeah, and we had Spawn. You remember Spawn?
Spawn, yeah. So he wasn't the first, but it was the Marvel put money behind this.
Yeah, they sure did.
And then considered black. Nobody said, no, anybody gonna make no movie with the Black Panther. That's why Wesley Snipes could never get. He not gonna. These interviews, they forget the interviews they give. Wesley Snipes wanted to do the Black Panther movie before Blade. But because of the negative connotation that the media put on the name Black Panther, they would associate with the political party. That's why it never got made. So when they said they're doing a Black Panther, I think in our community said they actually going to go do a superhero called Black Panther, you know, and then you have a predominantly black cast, and then it was taken seriously. Because I watched it the other night, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, the storyline they did, that was powerful.
Oh yeah, y'all remember Blank Man? I remember Blank Man.
Yeah, Blank Man, all that. So he wasn't the first, but he was the one that had that studio put that money behind. You know, and this generation of children, they look at comic books not the same way we did. We used to go and get reading them. They got cartoons, video games. So to see a black man hype that movie hyped the way it was. Because I knew it would make money, but I didn't think it would make that kind of money.
Oh yeah, it was shocking how much they made. It went worldwide.
Worldwide, and that proved that people will watch us.
Yeah,
you know, and that proved we will watch ourselves. So he took that role and he carried it with a badge of honor. But let's be honest, close to the end of his life, he was getting tired of that Wakanda forever, because I remember a couple of times they caught him on TV, rolled his eyes. They said, Wakanda forever. He like, oh, whatever. Because because he was because they're gonna treat him like Christopher Reeve. You're gonna start seeing memes of him and Christopher Reeve together. Because like they talk about replacing him, or they're gonna replace him or not. I got mixed feelings about it. I think they should continue with just a different actor, but they can do it in a way that honor him. But then I thought about it. I said, because he's gonna be so closely identified with this character, maybe they do need to go in a different direction. You know. So I got mixed feelings about it, but they're gonna Christopher Reeve him. They're gonna our Black Panther. You know, like they say, our Superman. You're gonna see a lot of memes with Chadwick Boseman for the next 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny? My son has a friend, and his friend decided, now he's dark skinned, right? He decided to dye his hair blonde. And I told him he looked like a golden lord from Meteor Man. He didn't even know what I was talking about until he watched the movie. He's so young, they weren't even around then.
You know what? A lot of people forget. Luther Vandross was in that movie. Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Ozzy and Ruby D. It was the who's who of Black Americans in that movie.
It sure was.
And they talked. I read somewhere that they talked to Robert Townsend if he was going to redo it again with the technology they have available and stuff. But the thing is, the view on this is kind of iffy in our community. And then you got a lot of white supremacists since Chadwick come out are criticizing. It was just a movie.
Yeah.
A movie.
I like Killmonger though. That was my favorite character.
He's the villain. He's a villain that you couldn't get mad at.
Yeah.
He responded to the mistreatment of it. He was hurt that his uncle did dirt to his father, but he was mad at the treatment of his people. See, that's why when people watch that movie, I'm like, it made that kind of money because it was basically telling white folk, look what you've done to my people.
Yeah. Luther Vandross was in Meteor Man. You remember he didn't have a speaking part, but he was in there.
He's a bad guy. That was the skinny Luther Vandross.
Yeah, he sure was. Yep. Eddie Griffin. Yeah, that's right. Eddie Griffin
There was a lot of who's who at that time.
And what was that? Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs was in there. Cause Bill Cosby had the dog. He was the homeless
Robert Guillaume. Yeah,
Robert
Don
Guillaume.
Cheadle. Don Cheadle. Yeah.
Young Don Cheadle. It was who's who? A black Hollywood at that time.
Oh man, you bringing back another one. Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang.
Man, you bringing back. You going way back with that one, Amanda B. Pootie Tang.
I know I'm not the only TV head out here. Thank you. Yeah, I guess Pootie Tang does count. It's more of a adult superhero. Yeah, Sinbad was in it too. Sinbad was in that. It was the who's who of Hollywood at that time. And a lot of people don't know that Will Smith, at one time back in the 90s, they was considering Will Smith to do Iron Man.
You know who I met years and years ago? You remember the actor that played in Friday After Next, Pinky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him. I told him when he entered that room, talking about Merry Christmas, nigga. He had me screaming, and he was telling me that was completely unscripted. He did that right off the top of his head.
Wow. But that's the best. That's the best comedy. That's the best actor. You remember those scenes. You remember certain things. This is why I think people taking Chadwick death so hard, because we don't get to see a lot of positive image that way.
No, we sure don't.
A young brother to be sick during that movie. He was sick during that movie. And
but a lot of our actors do that. Do you know Bernie Mac worked when he was sick?
Bernie Mac was sick even on his show. And if you go back, you can tell when he was sick. When everything. But as I said before, we was raised a certain way at a certain time. We didn't tell our business. Men kept their business to themselves because we didn't want nobody crying over us. Looking, we didn't want to look for no sympathy. We got it from our loved ones, And that's why, it is some people they mad at some of his co-workers for not saying anything. It hit them hard because if you go look at the behind the scenes, they enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah.
They enjoyed working with him. They said, and the brother was woke too. He wasn't one of them Negroes in Hollywood that talked a lot of stuff. He put his money where his mouth was.
He sure did. And that's the beautiful part about the whole thing. At the end of the day, he will live on forever through that movie. Nobody's going to ever forget Black Panther.
Oh no. Even when they do decide to recast or redo, because eventually they're going to get some actor to redo it, because at some point Marvel Universe is going to restart. They're going to do a TV show or something or whatever. Or if Marvel do make the decision, because they're going to probably ask his family, do y'all think that we should do a recast? That kind of thing. And like I said, I'm up in the air a while because you want to see a powerful black male, but at the same time saying, what about his sister that, she can play the Black Panther? And that's in the comic book, they have done that. But I think psychologically what it does to black boys, because you notice the images of the black boys crying.
Yeah.
And that bothered me to a degree, because I think the parents got to be careful. Don't tell the kids that the Black Panther died. Say Chadwick passed. Because my father, when he was a little boy, and maybe y'all remember this or not, maybe you don't. The TV Superman, George Reeves, died in 1959. Whether it was murder or suicide, the papers around the globe said that Superman killed himself or he died. It traumatized a bunch of little kids. And I'm afraid that these little boys and little girls, especially little boys, are going to be traumatized because of the news. You hear about black death, black men getting shot. So now these little kids, 5 years old, and putting mock coffins and they superheroes around that. That ate me up. So I say to parents, be careful with this, because kids they can get confused and they start having nightmares and asking questions about death, things that y'all may not want to talk about at this point. So just say Chadwick Boseman, he died of a disease that they don't have a cure or treatment for. At least be that honest with them. Let them have that fantasy of Black Panther. Let them be children as long as they can be. That's just me on my soapbox. I'm sorry.
No. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I was trying to see, figure out when they were going to hold his funeral services.
And you know what they might do, like they did Kobe Bryant. They said we're going to announce it, and then they just have it privately, then have a public celebration. And I think it would behoove Disney with own Marvel to have a public celebration, because let me tell you something. I have not seen any other black actor or entertainer besides Prince and Michael Jackson garner this much attention.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
says something.
That's what I was telling my son. I said, you know what? The last time we had a death this big was Kobe.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 2020.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Kobe. Yeah, I can't surprise I forgot about Kobe.
Yeah. And I said, this is definitely the second big one.
Yeah, this year, and they as an image of them, both of them standing together. I'm not gonna lie, I cheered up and I saw. I said, "Who would have thought that we'd have lost Kobe and Chadwick, and they both in this picture?" And then another actor, his actor in James Brown, Nelson Ellis, that played in True Blood. They both act, and they both died young.
Okay.
The guy that played his partner in James Brown's movie.
Mm-hmm. Now, according to this, Harvey, they're going to have his funeral at Howard University.
Oh, okay, his alma mater. Okay.
Yeah, that I don't give much more details, but they were saying, according to this one article, it says they're going to have it at Howard University.
Okay. Well, you know what? I say this. People still talking about this brother's death. Today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he. How can I say this? I wasn't born when Marilyn Monroe was alive, but it's sort of like that when you look at how people treated it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Started only been around for a short period of time. Or no, James Dean. Excuse me, that was a better. Here's James Dean made a handful of movies. 60-something years later, they're still talking about James Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be talking about Chadwick Boseman. And I would tell people this. If you guys want to honor Chadwick Boseman, or you want other black superhero movies on that level, go out there and support the comic books, those black writers and artists that work on these books and stuff. Because right now, DC Comics or Warner Brothers or AT&T, whatever you want to call the company, Warner Media, they just hired a black editor at DC. I think he's the first head black guy to be in that position at DC Comics.
Yeah.
What's the guy that wrote 12 Years a Slave? The brother, I can't think of his name right now. He used to be on Morning Joe. He's writing a comic where Batman is black, and they try to hype this up. And I think with Chadwick Boseman passed, I think a lot of young black kids are about to go out there and start looking at these characters a little bit different. Because like I said, Chadwick and Michael B. Jordan and them all set a tone with that movie. And if you don't believe me, just look how the white races are reacting on social media.
Yeah. Ooh, they hated when that movie came out and it was getting so much attention. Oh, man.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to make that kind of money. I mean, I knew it would make money as a Marvel movie, and I thought it probably would break even, but I didn't realize it's going to make that kind of money. And then ABC Disney, they got the Black Panther on Disney streaming service. Then they aired commercial free on a Sunday night. They lost money.
Yeah.
When the last time they did a commercial free movie on a network television? Roots is probably the last time they did something like that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Wow. I mean, he had an amazing life for the short time he was here on this planet.
And this
really did.
He did. And this is, I say this again, it behooves us as black people to go get checked out. You know, he was diagnosed in his late 30s. I think they said about 39 years old. So think about it, from 39 to 43, he was still working.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they say he even did the animated. They got an animated show. What If? He did some voice work, I believe they said, if I was reading correctly the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he kept himself going. That's for sure.
No, he was a true warrior. I'll tell you that. He kept going. He didn't look for no pity. He kept doing what he had to do. Because if you go back and look when he was at the All-Star game, I said, why he looked like his. If you look at the picture, you could tell he probably was going to chemotherapy because his beard and his eyebrows didn't look natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said maybe it's a part of a movie, or maybe that he's just chilling for a movie. But now looking back all those pictures, you can tell he was getting smaller and smaller over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
it's always sad for me to look at that. My father died of cancer of the pancreas.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I hear somebody is sick with cancer, it always catches my attention.
Yeah. And this is why we had to start donating to these different cancer treatments, because that's overwhelming. They say that type of cancer is killing Black men at an alarming rate.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, may he rest in peace. And my prayers go out to his family and friends.
Yeah. I definitely feel you on that.
I hope to God I didn't piss anybody off by talking about the election, what I felt that I had to do.
No. I mean, look, that's what we're here for. We're here to have a conversation. We're not going to all agree. I haven't voted in a long time, Harvey. And it's hard for me to feel these two old white men running for president.
I know what you mean, Lisa. Believe me, I've been wrestling with it for like the last month or two, because I know what's at stake, and the thing is, I just don't want our people to keep catching hell from this, because I'm telling you, I done lost my cousin lost another cousin last week. This COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm worried because look, this year is a given. It's a wasted year. I look at it like, okay, we can't really do much. Do you really want to be sitting here next year doing the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm being worried about whether or not you're going to get this virus, because flu season technically has started the 1st of September. We're in flu season.
Yeah.
And you already got people that want to get a flu shot. So just imagine what's about to happen the next 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be interesting, but I'm not, I'm definitely going to be watching the voting in November. I'm going to watch it because it's going to be interesting. The voting is going to be in a way that we never seen before. People always did absentee ballots, but not at the level they're planning on doing it. So it should be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. And I'm going to tell you, all the white folk that I hear amen and Trump now, they're going to feel it. Even the Republican supporters, they're going to realize we done messed up. Mm-hmm. I think that's why you get a lot of them now on TV, a lot of Republicans that I would have never thought was going to go against Trump or the Republican Party. They talk about we can't vote for him because it's affecting them. It's affecting their community as well, their voters. It's just not going to affect us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, it's something I'm wrestling, because right now I might feel different come November. You know what I mean? Yeah. I may not vote. It all depends. Just right now, I guess maybe because the loss of people in my life right now. And I just,
Did you get your mail-in ballot yet?
Not yet. But when I do, I will look at it and I'll make the decision, because I was talking to my aunt and she said, if you get it, mail it now. And because if you try to mail it in next month, you can forget about it.
Yeah, because I heard they have been mailed out. I don't know if they did it countrywide or just certain parts of the country first.
Yeah. Well, wait. The president, he been trying. I just realized I said him, the president. Trump, the way Trump been doing, he been throwing. Harvey is too emotional. Okay. Thank you for saying that. But that's my opinion. You'll be emotional too if somebody die in your family. But anyways, the way this president I get it again. The way Trump has been going, he's throwing everything at the wall, hope it stick.
Yeah.
And my thing is, everybody don't realize when you got somebody that unstable. His own sister said something wrong with him.
She said she did his homework for him. Yeah, I was screaming. I was like, oh my God.
She basically said that Donald and his daughter got an inappropriate relationship. Everybody glossed over that one.
Mm-hmm.
They glossed it because Donald even said, if she wasn't my daughter, look at her how she look. And when she said something like Donald don't have nothing for the boys, but Ivanka, that's his heart. And she said something else, and they asked his niece, And she danced around and like, yeah, we know what y'all talking about. It's something right up in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know Melania can't stand her.
Oh, you saw she gave her the evil eye last week?
Mm-hmm. No, she don't like Ivanka. You can tell there's some friction between those two.
Yeah, they competing for his attention.
Mm-hmm.
She rolled her eyes at her. I'm like, they don't like each other.
No. I think it's really obvious. It's kind of funny though.
It is. They hate, but they still hate no Michelle Obama. Look, I got my issue with Michelle Obama. She was classy. If she had issue with you, you never saw it.
Yeah.
She never saw it. But Ivanka, her auntie said, yeah, Donald and Ivanka,
Mm-hmm.
And the media glossed over, like, y'all don't want to go there. Because Donald basically been looking at his daughter for years now. Because what father would sit there and say that wasn't my daughter? That's sick.
None that got their head on right.
Exactly. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. Usually, when you like, if you're an uncle or you're a father or something, and you got a daughter or a cousin or a niece around you, you sitting on your lap. Usually, about the age of 7, like, you can't be sitting on my lap anymore. You can't be doing that anymore because people get the wrong idea. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody want to talk about it, but it is what it is. But his sister basically said there's an inappropriate relationship there.
Yeah, well, you can tell.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, that is just too obvious.
Yeah.
All right, Harvey, your Cash App. I'm going to put your Cash App in the chat.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm not getting anybody to donate anything because I'm looking at some people like, Harvey, your opinions on voting. I'm like, look, y'all, I ain't telling y'all who to vote for. I'm just giving my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So it's HL 1974.
Yes.
$. Yeah. Okay.
HL 1974.
All right. That's Harvey's Cash App for anybody that want to do a donation. I've done 2 already.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I know, and I'm gonna tell you something. I enjoyed it. This is the first time me and you've done this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. If you want me to come back on anytime, you just give me a call.
Okay. I'll definitely take you up on that because, sometimes I have some pretty big panels and sometimes I just do this solo.
Exactly. And I want to say this without getting out too much information. A lot of y'all need to support your Black YouTube channels because a lot of y'all don't realize there's been a lot of Black YouTubers chased off this platform and heads going to roll pretty soon. I just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. You know how it is. They're always trying to get us off anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. And that tells you that people are afraid of just having look, me and Lisa just had a conversation. We didn't disrespect each other. We didn't call each other out our names. If she didn't agree with something, she didn't say anything. If I didn't agree with something, I didn't say anything. We just let each other do what we got to do. You know what I mean? And they don't want us doing that. They want us to call each other out our names. They want us not to listen to each other. I keep telling y'all, we're more powerful than we think. Control your dollar, know your history, respect your community. Sometimes we're gonna agree to disagree, but we keep pushing.
No, B1 Queensland. That was Cardi B calling out Melania being nude. I thought that was hilarious. They were trying to drag Cardi B, and then she pulled out some nudies of Melania and said Melania sold her WAP too.
You know what? It doesn't get me. Look, now I ain't gonna lie. That song gets kind of rough on the ears if you one of those sensitive people, or you get embarrassed. But no white person, especially comparing Melania, did they forget how she became? How Donald met her?
Yeah,
She's the only first lady who goodies that we got to see so far. Think about that. I'm serious. It be killing me. And then the women on Fox. Oh my gosh, it's so rough. But y'all sitting on a show where they got the camera looking up your skirts.
Mm-hmm.
trying to be slick because I done seen someone. Yeah, I know the carpet don't match your drapes on some of y'all. If you know what I'm talking about, that means I done seen too much.
Mm-hmm. Is that the truth?
Yeah, and y'all gonna pass. Look, Cardi B is not my cup of tea, but she's only problem I got with that is these kids are hearing this music a little too young. That's my issue. But other than that, she can say what the heck she want. If you're gonna go after Cardi B, you need to go after Hollywood. You go after the porn industry. You gotta go after romantic novels. You gotta go after some daytime soaps. You gotta go after the TV shows. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that shows sex. I mean, MTV, they celebrate teenage girls getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all want to I mean, I got some criticism of Cardi B, but I'm not going to get in front of mixed company and throw her under the bus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I better stop. I'm y'all preachy all of a sudden.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here, Harvey. I really enjoyed having you on the panel, and we'll definitely do this again in the future. Everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. And, may the Most High be with everyone, wherever you are on this planet. Peace, family. Peace to you, Harvey.
You too, Lisa. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.